Hey there, welcome to The Empowered Edge, the podcast that gives you nutrition, mindset, and habit building strategies that actually work. I'm your host, Jenna Hostetler, registered dietitian, certified neurocoach, and your go-to guide to break free from burnout, cut through the health noise, and reclaim control of your body and brain. Each week, you'll get practical, science-backed strategies so you can stop second-guessing yourself, sharpen your focus, and finally feel like the woman who leads her life, not just survives it. Today, we are continuing the conversation with Alicia Harrison, who's a certified health coach and the creator of Flip This Chick. We dive into how to build confidence, adaptability, and lasting results through mindset and movement. Alicia shares some powerful lessons on thinking for yourself, staying consistent, and redefining what healthy aging looks like. And I'm confident you will leave this episode inspired to take ownership of your health, prioritize what truly matters to you, and become the kind of person who follows through. So let's dive in.
You know, one of the things I do, even with clients who do want to go into a gym, or they might be traveling, or whatever shifts they have to make in their life, I take time during the Flip This Chick program while they're with me. And I go, okay, so here's the thing. Yes, you asked for a gym workout and we have that, and you're getting that and understanding it. I'm making sure you know form and technique, but now let's act like you walked into a gym you hadn't been in before. Now, I want you to take the foundation I've given you and understand, instead of this is exactly the exercise you have to do, and this is how it goes, and oh, if somebody's on that machine, what do I do? It's, you know what? Choose 5 exercises and do them. Do them to a challenge. Do them to failure. Do them to know that you're going to cause your body change. And then go. Like, it doesn't matter. If there's only 5 different machines, or there's only 5 dumbbells, I don't care what it is. I just need you to challenge whatever area you work. Challenge it enough that you know it's going to need to change in order for you to show up next time, for that not to be so hard. Because that's where your body changes. That's where you get shape and definition. That's where muscle builds, and then it improves your metabolism, all of that. And that's what we need. I need to empower them to walk in and know, I got this. Because if you go at 5 o'clock on a Monday, I used to run personal training division at health clubs. We know that 5 o'clock on Monday during the month of January are the busiest days of the year, no matter what. So if you walk in then, it's crowded. You won't get what you need. So you got to be able to improvise. Or if you're home instead of at the gym, or if you're traveling and you're in a hotel, or you're at your kid's house and you don't have the stuff, whatever it is, improvise. But just work your muscles to challenge so that they keep showing up.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you said January, Monday, 5 o'clock, busiest time of the year. Totally makes sense, because you have New Year's resolutions and all these great ambitions and wonderful goals that never really pan out. So I'm curious, what does it look like mid-December? Has everybody given up at that point?
So actually, it's funny you should say that, because I was a part of building health clubs across the country at one point. And so we started selling memberships prior to the clubs being open. Here's how it works. Much like mid-December, everybody buys a membership because they can't go yet. And they can say, oh, I joined that club, but I can't go because they're not open. Oh, I started that, but it doesn't start till January. So they're not there doing it in December, but they signed up for it already. That's what it looks like. Because people want to say they're doing something. They don't want to really show up.
Wow, that's huge. But isn't that what we see all the time? Is you want to just be able to say you're doing it and go through the motions and not have the responsibility of actually doing it.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what I want. I want the medal on the wall and the finish line, and I want to feel like $1 million, and I want my grandkids to run it with me so that I'm having a good time. My granddaughters are Well, they're 6 and 9 now, but at the age of 5, they'd ran a 5K with me. Now they've done 4, right? That's what I want. That's what the normal should be. We should want to inspire them. I'll tell you a little story. Actually, speaking of children and running and things, three of my 4 kids, they do a lot of activity and challenges, and they're coaches, health coaches, they're all that. But they kind of decided, well, running isn't their thing. They are CrossFit or bicycle or motocross, but they kind of decided they wanted to run, and they were like, let's team up and go for a run. And my kids go, well, we can't run marathons. Mom does that. We got to go farther than that. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, yeah, she's done like a dozen. We can't run a marathon. That would be ridiculous. So they signed up for a 50K. So they did it. And then I said, oh, well, guess what, boys? Within 5 years, I'm running a 50K so that you have to step it up again. So between being the inspiration for my grandchildren and my own children being my inspiration, and then we compete with each other, that's what is exciting and healthy. I showed up to run that 50K almost 2 years ago in August now for my birthday. And every one of my kids came to run by my side. Because a 50K is 5 or 10 5Ks, right? In math.
Yeah.
So I started running, and every 5K distance, one of my children or my grandchildren or my daughters-in-law showed up the entire time, and I didn't stop, but they made sure they each got in their place on time, and the brothers got the littlest brother there, and they threw the grandson who was in a stroller. They're like, oh, let him go. We're still sleeping. It's only 5 o'clock, but that's what normal needs to be. How we all inspire each other or keep each other accountable or have a good time with it. My dad rode his bicycle 240 miles the day my first son was born to see me, because he had signed up for a bike ride that he trained for all summer. And then I went into labor 2 weeks early, and he goes, oh, crap, I guess I'll ride that way instead. That son ended up riding for Fuji in Belgium. And I'm not saying all this stuff because our family's great. I'm saying it because, you guys, that's what we should be doing. You should be looking in your genes. You should be inspiring your kids. I'm telling you, I never will forget somebody saying, oh, well, diabetes runs in my family. Well, no, guess what? Your family just doesn't run. Let's get in motion and get rid of the disease and start being healthy. I had a client who came a few years ago, and it was a gentleman, and he had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, gout. I go, you're 50, not 80. What's the matter? He couldn't do anything because his knee hurt. Within a month, he felt better. We got rid of anti-inflammatory foods completely. And then within 4 months, he no longer had gout. He no longer had the medicine for that. He got rid of his the high cholesterol medicine. Like, so many things had shifted. He's like, oh my gosh. And now, like, he bikes every day and runs. I'm like, okay, it's been years now, and he's still fit and healthy. Like, we just fall into this norm that I don't know where it came from, but we need to squash it. We need to be healthy.
That life sounds way more appealing than
right?
Stuck in the couch and no energy, and like, who wants to live that way?
Just being
Especially
grumpy.
One thing that it really bugs me when people say, live like there's no tomorrow. No, you should live like you're going to be here until you're 85. Because at
100.
50, yeah, 100. At 50, you have
My
a long
grandparents lived
time
to
left.
100, so I'm
Really?
booked for 50 more years. So if
Yeah,
we're planning accordingly, like you've got to.
exactly. If you're going to be here for 30, 40, 50 more years, do you really want your life to be the couch? Or do you
Right.
want to go explore and run and see your
Mhm.
great grandkids?
One of the things we incorporate in the Flip This Chick program is are a few books that are pretty inspiring and stuff. That The Worthy Project, Mel Robbins, 5 Second Rule, and The Secret and the Magic. Okay, but beyond that, it's caused me to just really listen to more audio tapes and get more information. And I listened to Hal Elrod's book, The Miracle Equation, recently. And he said something that just resonated with me and really kind of made me do a self check, because I am active and healthy. And anyone who knows me knows my kids are my top priority. But, he said, tell us what your priorities are. Most people can easily say, oh, my health and my family. Maybe it's your job and your dog. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. Okay. Are those the first two things you do every day? The first two. Not that they're on your list and oh, I'm getting those in today, but actually do them first. I was like, oh my gosh, I go days or weeks without talking to my kids because they're all over the country. I'm like, what am I doing? They know that I give them my undivided attention every time I get to one of them, and I don't go more than 4 weeks without seeing somebody. But I'm like, I need to be calling them every single week, every single Sunday, one of them every day. What am I doing if they're my top priority and it isn't actually the first thing I do every day? What am I doing if I say my health is most important, but I rush out to do the job, take care of somebody else? I'm exhausted and worn out, and I didn't have time to do it when I said it's my most important thing. It's quite impressive. It made me go, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before I even open up my phone, I'm doing my list cardio, low intensity, steady state cardio. Before I even open my phone, I'm doing it. I'm just drinking my collagen, drinking my protein, taking my vitamins before I even open my phone. And one of the things we do in the Flip This Chick program that really does impact kind of a visceral response is that we keep a whiteboard. Now, that whiteboard can be in your phone, it can be on your desk, it doesn't matter. I love it when it's on the wall and it's in color, but if you keep a checklist of real things you say you're going to do, right? Because a plan's only really a plan if it's in writing, then your brain will work for it. If it's not in writing, it'll let things come in the way. So when you make that list and say it's simple things like doing a walk in the morning, taking the vitamins in the morning, getting collagen, getting protein, whatever the things are that are in your phase. And you can check off 4 things before you even pick up your phone. And those 4 things were for your most important things in your life. Then you're like, nice. And the rest of your day just sails through. Because even if you don't get to something on your list, oh my gosh, I did that and that and that and that. Nice job.
And then you can keep going.
And suddenly you become that person who does the things she said she's going to do. And then your life makes room for those things. Because it doesn't make room for the things that you said you were going to do and didn't show up for, because it knows you're not going to. It makes room for the things that you said you were going to do and you really did.
That's powerful.
And then suddenly you're that person. It's pretty cool. It works. And it feels better because you're just like patting yourself on the back going, oh, nice. I did that. I did that. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I have some of the clients actually put that whiteboard at work so that right when they arrive to work, they're like, oh, I already did that and that and that and that. And they walk into their office feeling really accomplished already and not like they have this weight of so much to do. Just little things like that can really impact how you feel about yourself and what you do. And that's how you get real results that last.
Which is what everybody wants, right? They want the results to last. And they're sick of quick fixes that, quick unfixes,
Right.
quick
Right.
wins, quick losses. Okay, raise your hand if you want to be like Alicia when you grow up, running marathons at 50, traveling to see the kids, keeping up with the grandkids, and challenging them to be better versions of themselves. That, to me, sounds like a life worth living and looking forward to. And I know some people will hear that and think, man, that sounds like too much work. But is it really? Because I'll tell you what she's not doing. She's not waking up with aches and pains and unable to get through the day like she used to. She's not spending hours of her life in a doctor's office trying to figure out what's wrong with her and managing symptoms. She's not reminiscing about the good old days because she's living the good days now. And I'll bet you anything that she does not think her life is too much work. Like we said at the end there, easy come, easy go. And there are so many people who want the quick fix, but the quick fix robs you of the opportunity to build the foundation so that your results can last. Living like others won't so that you can live like others can't is such a true and powerful statement, because I will bet you that there are millions of people in their 50s and 60s who would give anything to have the quality of life that Alicia has. But it's too late for a lot of them. And they would be willing to do anything now, but they weren't willing to do anything when they actually had the opportunity and the ability to do it. Whew, and that is not where I was planning to go here, but it is something worth thinking about. When you lose the ability to do what you can now, what would you be willing to give to get it back? And therefore, what are you willing to do today to keep your current quality of life and to ensure that your life remains one of quality? Something to think about this week. So, take action, stay empowered, and I'll see you next time. Okay, now before you pop off, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the one episode that could change your life. And give us a 5-star review if you learned something new today. If you want to check out all the awesome free guides, templates, and resources I've given away on this podcast, go to theneurodietitian.com/resources. You can grab anything you want, but only if you'll do it. Because information without implementation is worthless. And here at The Empowered Edge, we're action takers, not excuse makers.